The Milwaukee Bucks are involved in a blockbuster trade, and I don't know if you know, Dom, but Civic Media has committed to carrying the Milwaukee Bucks in 6 different Wisconsin media markets. We are big partners with the Milwaukee Bucks Radio Network.
Bucks in 6.
Bucks in 6. WISS, that's the Fox Valley. WFHR, North Central Wisconsin. WRJN, that's where you're going to listen, Dom, on 1400 AM. We're going to have your Packers, your Bucks, Brewers next year. Q98, the Northwoods, WRCE, Richland Center, and WLAK up in Amory. And Mike Clemens, welcome back to the Devil's Advocates. Man, I didn't see this trade coming. Jrue Holiday on the way out. Who's coming in?
Man. Hey, Mike.
Neither did I. Hey, Dom, Crudy called me last April and said, do you think you could get into some of these Bucks playoff games? Because I just started with you guys, and I thought, hey, you may make some calls. Any reason why in particular? I can't tell you right now. Now we got all these stations where we're going to have Bucks games on this coming year, and it's going to be pretty exciting. So here's the deal. Damian Lillard he wants out of the Trailblazers, and they're in a rebuild, and he's 33, and he's like at the peak of his career, and a point guard, 6'2". He kind of reminds you a little bit of in the style of Dwayne Wade, and he wants out. Now, there was no word yet on if the Trailblazers had found a trade partner, but the Bucks GM, John Horst, he's friends with the GM of the Trailblazers. Okay, It starts there. Terry Stotts, who used to be a head coach for the Bucks years ago, he's now back in Milwaukee as an assistant coach with this, new head coach Adrian Griffin, who's taken on. So all of a sudden, this thing breaks today. It's a big, huge 3-way trade. The Phoenix Suns are involved. The Phoenix Suns are like finished in 4th place in the Western Conference last year. So they're adding on. They're going to get the Bucks Grayson Allen, Keon Johnson, Little, Nurkic, a couple of the Trailblazers have got a bunch of young guards. They're totally rebuilding, and they're getting the Bucks Jrue Holiday. Now, and also some unprotected swap rights and first-round picks 3-4 years down the road. So here's the deal. When you sent me to those games, Mike, and they're playing that series, and everybody thought the Bucks were the 1 seed and going to repeat as champions.
Yep.
And Giannis goes down with that back injury, right? And Budenholzer's like making moves that are out of his mind. It's like, who's going to cover Jimmy Butler? And nobody was. And so they had bad coverage on him. Holiday was not, living up to what they needed in terms of covering Butler, and he's only getting about 19 points a game. And then the season's over with. Mike Budenholzer gets fired, even though his brother dies in a car crash just before Game 4, because the guy had some weird things about covering. Mark Lasry was the owner who got out like last January or December and sold it to Jimmy Haslam, his part. Mark Lasry said, there was a game when I was still owner. He says, and our team was up against a really hot shooter one night, and Budenholzer just let him go with single coverage. And he said, after the game, I said to him, why didn't you cover that guy? And he said, he'll wear himself out by the 4th quarter, which he did, but he thought that was a curious way. So there was Jimmy Butler playing all 4 quarters and scoring every night and taking the Bucks, 5 games in Game 5 and advancing in the playoffs. So Budenholzer loses his job. So in this August, Mike, is when Giannis sat down with a reporter in the New York Times, and everybody thought, he's just taking that out of the context. No, he's setting up a flare. He's like, I love Milwaukee. I love what we've done there. It was great to win that championship, but I want more. And if whoever I play for, if I don't see them doing everything they can to put a winning organization to give us a shot at a championship, I might not be interested. You see, because through this whole thing, remember they re-signed Chris Middleton, right, and Brook Lopez this summer.
Mm-hmm.
But Giannis has an extension coming up this month, and now it's the 27th of September. So that's really been the story. Like, what is holding up this re-signing? And now you have your answer. They just traded. That's the only thing that the Bucks are getting is that one player, this Damian Lillard, about 33 years old, out of the Trailblazers. By the way, when Giannis was the team captain for the All-Star game, you know who his first pick was? Damian Lillard.
Ah.
Now, do we have to worry about renegotiating cap room, things like that? Mike Clemens, our fine guest, Civic Media sports director on the Bucks Blockbuster trade today. We got money to figure out here, Mike?
That part I don't know yet, because I know that what I'm seeing, from the networks is that Lillard's still got like a 3 or 4 year deal left in Portland, but he pretty much told Portland, get me out of there. And now he's with a guy who really wants to play with him in Giannis. But when you kind of scratch your head and you see this stuff that Giannis said to the New York Times in August, and also in an interview, we played some clips on our stations, during our sports, then you say, well, this was the last shoe to drop. I mean, it's like, what do you want? We re-signed Chris, gave him a big deal. We're bringing back Brooke. Okay, what else do you need? This is what he wanted. This shooting guard at his side that he think will be more reliable down the stretch when they get to the playoffs.
And Mike, people may not know this, but the Bucks, they start in October. That's just around the corner. Mike Clemens, the sports director at Civic Media. Mike, we're going to catch up with you again tomorrow. A little preview of the Packer game going on tomorrow night, Thursday night action, but big Bucks blockbuster, unexpected. Mike, thanks, man, for all these insights. Glad we started you off early, sending you to the Bucks games.
Right.
So, Mike, real quick before we run out of time, thumbs up. Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling good about this trade?
Oh, yeah. Hey, you would do everything you can do to keep Giannis happy. That's what it's all about.
Keep Papa happy. The Greek Freak. Mike Clemens, appreciate it, man. You're keeping us happy. We'll talk to you tomorrow about the Packers. Dom, I'm trying to keep the audience happy. Bucks in 6 media markets right here with Civic Media. WISS, WFHR, WRJN, 98 The Q, WRCE, WLAK. Bucks, it's a big partnership. The water cooler's on fire around here, Dom. I'm telling you, come back, more Devils.